person who had to have sort of mental stamina in these conditions was Catherine Bigelow, the director.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, what was she dealing with in terms of keeping you on point too?
Well, I mean, the physical, aspects of it were terrible and wonderful at the same time. For for her, I know she had a whole other thing to deal with than dealing with us. She didn't have to mess with us too much or try to over direct us. She let us kind of do our thing, and she was more of a voyeur, just capturing. Four cameras everywhere, and it was, I mean, it's physically demanding to be out in that kind of heat for that long. And I mean, she's 57, and to be out in those conditions, I mean, she's in great shape, better shape than any of us were. You know what I mean? She's out there skipping around like a schoolgirl, and she's all wrapped up in the sunscreen and the goggles from the wind, sandstorms, and like, wait, we were shooting a movie. We're just shooting a movie, but the conditions, like I said earlier, were hell, but they made our job easier because it was only reacting to the environment that we're in. It made it more real than I ever would want it to be, because we can sort of act, but it was an absolute treat to be able to shoot there in that environment, in those conditions. Not that I really want to do it again in my next job.
Jordan, right?
Yeah, it's being in Jordan and being on set and doing it, and it was everything presented a different challenge every day. Outside the conditions, we're still shooting a movie, and we're still and not a lot of money, and then our guns are sort of plastic guns because it couldn't get the thing. We always had a different challenge every day.
But you were like out there for, I mean, maybe not you personally, but for the shoot itself was like 44 days, right?
45 days, yeah.
Wow.
So it was like 3 months.
So now, when you had that list of questions, did you bring those questions to Catherine?
I spoke to Catherine that night about it for like 2 hours. And we were both so excited. And there's nobody on the project yet. It was just something she was kind of fighting for me to do it after we talked on the phone. Mark Bowl wasn't even convinced yet. But yeah, first question I asked Catherine, after I told her, like, I just kind of barfed on her all these feelings and thoughts I was having about how I saw this guy on deeper levels and then very simple levels. But the first question I had to her was, how do you want the audience to feel when James walks back into that sort of that picturesque kind of, it was described that way too, kind of like this almost John Wayne-ish kind of, the sun was setting and, goes back to war. How do you want the audience to feel when they come out of this movie? And from there I could build a character that I thought I wanted to build. She answered it like I thought she would, which is good. But it's important to me to kind of thematically and what she wanted.
What did she say?
It's pretty much kind of, I think, what most people kind of take with it. It's kind of bittersweet. It was a long answer, but the short answer of it is it's sort of bittersweet. It's kind of tragic, but that is where that guy needs to be. He doesn't belong anywhere else, and you want him to.
You feel that. You do feel that.
You can have other feelings about it, but it's this guy. It's Will James, and it's his life, and this is what he does. This is what he's born to do. And could he have stayed and been a good father and husband? Probably yes, but he's going to be sitting on something he was built to do and trained to do and loves to do. So why take that away from him?
So what have you had the TV show?
Yep.
There's been a lot of interest in you, obviously, because of this performance. What other things have you gone ahead and done? What are we going to see you in?
Gosh, the Hurt Locker was 2 years ago. I was done, and then I went in to do. Actually, I did an episode of House right after that, just so I could, okay, this is back to like, acting. Back to okay, this is what I was trained to do, not sort of that, So that kind of felt good. And like, okay, that was nice. And then I went into a couple TV shows. And then I did this movie called The Town. It just finished.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck directing.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He set a really cool tone for the set. It was like shooting, a short film with a really good buddy of mine. It was very, he's very excitable. And
What character do you play?
I play this character Jem, and it represents the old world that Ben and I's characters kind of came up in Charlestown, the Square Mile area, part of Boston, where there's a lot of bank robbers, and it's sort of a way of life for these guys. And he sort of played the brains of our crew of bank robbers, and I was kind of the heavy, sort of wild card kind of character. It was a lot of fun. And
when is that opening?
I don't know. Warner Brothers, I think, is going to release it probably like September-ish, September, October, maybe August, the earliest. It depends on how things are going. They're pretty excited about it, and so that makes me happy.
And then you have this Hawkeye rumor that's out there.
Oh, the Hawkeye rumor, right. Yeah, I say one thing, that I meet these guys, and all of a sudden I'm doing it. What? No, there's a big process that happens, because that's a big character for that company. And
Marvel.
For Marvel, yeah. I've been wanting to meet those guys for a while, especially after seeing Iron Man. And for no other reason, just to talk with them, because I'm not a big comic guy, and it's just I'm not. But I just liked what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I finally got to go meet them and just talk to them. And the only reason why it kind of happened, because a buddy of mine, Zach Penn, is writing the Avengers, and he's been trying to get me in something he's written, and I've been wanting to, but it just hasn't worked out. So the meeting kind of finally took place, and it was just a meeting, and they got me kind of excited about it. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have a director on their movie. It's years away, and if it happens, if they'd have me, I think it'd be pretty awesome. But there's a lot of steps that have to happen.
Thanks a lot.
It's like getting married to somebody. It's like, yeah, you still got to ask them. Get on a knee and propose. They can say no. You know what I mean? It's not like we're not getting married. Oh, I got to ask her first.
Well, I hope it goes well for you, and thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.